And we're following a developing story in college football where the commissioner of the SEC, Greg Sankey, opened up SEC Media Days with an announcement that games this fall will not be postponed or rescheduled if a team is unable to play due to COVID issues. Sankey said that 6 of the league's 14 teams have reached 80% vaccinations, but that number needs to grow rapidly.
We still have roster minimums that exist, just like last year. What I've identified for consideration among our membership is we remove those roster minimums and you're expected to play as scheduled. That means your team needs to be healthy to compete. And if not, that game won't be rescheduled. And thus, to dispose of the game, the forfeit word comes up at this point. Our teams are going to have to be fully prepared to play their season as scheduled, which is why embedded in my remarks is the vaccination motivation.
He brought up the F word. College football reporter Heather Dinich joining us now with much more on this story. Heather, you spoke recently to Greg Sankey about this issue. How serious is he about teams forfeiting games?
Well, he's very serious, but it's important to note it's not a conference-wide policy yet. That's something for the SEC athletic directors to consider. But Greg Sankey made it clear to me that he expects the vaccination rates to go up as we get closer to the season, because you have to remember that these players who aren't vaccinated have to continue to go through the SEC's COVID-19 testing protocol, which means the possible loss of playing time because of contact tracing and quarantine, isolation, all of those things add up. Texas A&M had 1 positive test last year, but missed games because of that contact tracing. And as that gets more real, he's hoping the vaccination rates go up.
Okay, Heather, when it comes to this issue around the sport, what can we expect to see from the other Power 5 conferences?
Well, they're all having similar discussions right now, but none of them have announced any concrete policies yet. I spoke with Big 12 Commissioner Bob Bowlesby today. He said it's too early to make that kind of decision. I talked to a person in the ACC who said that Jim Phillips, the commissioner, might have more clarity on the issue on Wednesday, but pointed out that 8 schools, universities in the ACC, they are requiring their entire student body to be vaccinated. So different leagues have different situations going on for them to address. But as of now, no concrete policies across the Power 5 yet.
We'll have Paul Feinbaum's reaction, of course, later on SportsCenter as well. Heather Dinich with the very latest on this developing story in college football. Keep in mind, teams will start reporting to their campuses later this month and early August. Then it gets real. How about the lineup on ABC? Alabama taking on Miami and the Chick-fil-A kickoff in Atlanta. Ooh. And then Clemson meets Georgia in the Duke's Mayo Classic in Charlotte. How are we feeling,
Just right away, y'all?
Yeah.
Immediately?
It's a Band-Aid. Just rip it off early.
Fair.
Oh, we'll see.
I'm into it.
Tony and Mike now with much more on vaccinations in college football on our PTI bonus topic.
Season's over right away.
All right, Wilbon, should college football teams be forced to vaccinate to play this season?
Well, Tony, this is going to be a wildly personal issue and seen as a political issue in the college football landscape. And you're asking me my opinion, and I say yes. I am strongly in favor. I am strongly pro-vaccine. So that is my view. There will be people who are just as far in the other direction. I'm sort of surprised that we're hearing this early, first, it seems, from the Southeastern Conference. But good for them. And we have this case, Tony, a federal case in Indiana, moving up a little bit, a little north to the Big Ten, where it has been ruled that the university, Indiana University, does have this right, ruling in favor of the school, saying, yes, we mandate a vaccine for our students. I guess it's not just student athletes, but students. And so we're going to be hearing this, right, state by state, right, or school by school. We're going to go into the late summer with this. I'm in favor of it, and I just wonder how it's going to turn out a couple of months from now.
Yeah, it's sort of murky for us because we don't know the legality of the issue. One judge could rule for it. It could go to a higher court. Another judge could rule against it. It could go state by state. I don't know when and if it'll get to the Supreme Court. But like you, I believe in the vaccine. I was vaccinated. I want everybody to be vaccinated. If the SEC, which is known as the best football conference, is willing to sacrifice certain games in order to get its players vaccinated, me personally, I see that as a good sign. If the word forfeit comes up and that puts pressure on teams to vaccinate, I see that. I do. I see that as a good sign, and I see that as getting in line with most Americans at the moment. So I'm for this.
Yeah, Tony, what's interesting is it seems like the SEC through Sankey is saying, we're not messing around with postponements. We're not doing that. If you don't want to do it, okay, you run the risk of, yes, the big F word, forfeiture. I don't think anybody in the SEC wants to hear that. So it's also going to be interesting to see what motivates people to take the tack they take. Is it going to be, I believe in the vaccine, or I don't believe in forfeiting games to that school? So we got a lot. We got a lot coming up, and it ain't going to be just the SEC.
Mike, you and I talk about this all the time. I am stunned when I hear about pro teams say that they don't even achieve a level of 50% on a vaccination rate when it's out there for anybody who wants it. I don't know if you can compel people to get it, but if you could, I would be in favor of that.
Yeah, well, the SEC is with you, Tone. How about that? That's it. We're done. Back to you.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.